Hey friendos, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Matt. We are back with some more Marvel Future Fight, and oh boy, we are in for an absolute doozy today. So yes, we are here with the patch notes, and oh my word, if this was a Subway sandwich, then we have some spicy meatballs to go in this patch notes marinara sauce, because it is looking very interesting. So yeah, we know it's the mutant update, Destiny of X. We've got a new character, which is awesome. We've got a lot of new uniforms, which is great for characters who really need it. We have a bunch of transcendences, including one for Bishop, which is a shame because he didn't get a uni. And yeah, Jean Grey, not only does she get her tier 4, but we get a world boss legend, which no one was expecting that. So that is absolutely huge. So yeah, there's a lot to get into. So let's just jump straight into it, shall we? So let's start off with our brand new character, Polaris. So yeah, daughter of Magneto, superhero. She has some very hot goth vibes, which, if you're into that kind of thing, it is awesome. So yeah, she is technically a buy subscription character. However, she is free if you are playing at the time of this update, because she is in the future pass. So that is pretty awesome. And you can see, just like her dad, she is a leadership for all mutants, whether hero or villain. Increases attacks by 45%, which is quite nice. And then we have a bunch of self-buffing passives as well. And then we have a huge team passive, her tier 2 passive, which applies to all mutants. So she is really looking to take on the mantle of being, well, just like her dad, I guess, in terms of leading all mutants. So she increases damage to all supervillains by 45% and decreases damage received from all supervillains by 35%. So that is very spicy. She is looking like she is going to be a number one pick, certainly, for a lot of content. For any mutant character who you're going to be using as a damage dealer. Hopefully she's also going to be able to have some pretty decent damage herself. I was hoping when we first heard about her coming to the game that she was going to be getting some PvE utility, and it certainly seems. You look at her skill, she has on the 5th skill, she's got the burn and the snare. She does have fracture as well and paralysis. So I'm hoping that she's going to be really meta for both World Boss Legend and ABL. Fingers crossed, but obviously, like I say, we'll have to wait till we get her in game before we really find out how good she is. But certainly on paper, even if she herself isn't absolutely meta, certainly her abilities as a support and leadership really are. So let's get on to the main reason we're all here. Whether love it or hate it, it's happening. Jean Grey is getting another uniform. So we see that she is keeping her universal tag. She's not reverting back to Blast, which kind of makes sense if she's going to be a World Boss Legend. And obviously, having been overtaken by the Phoenix Force, she is a supervillain now. So that is going to be very interesting, especially considering the amount of powers we're getting against supervillains. So her new leadership, or a new uniform, increases fire damage, guard break immunity, and decreases pierce damage by a whopping 60%. So even though she's got a World Boss Legend stage, it's pretty clear where they expect everyone to be using her, and that is in PvP. Her tier 3, according to the update video that MFF put out themselves, has been massively improved so that it kicks off right from the very second that you hit it, as opposed to that kind of almost like a wind up where she raises herself in the air. So it hits instantly, so that is going to be very interesting. And then you look at all the other skills, and they very much look like they've been reworked to stand up to 2022 PvP. So very much keeping in line with your Emma Frosts, your Adam Warlocks, There's a lot of damage accumulation, a lot of paralysis, a lot of decreased damage received. Basically, it looks like the old Jean Grey in terms of where she sat in the power rankings is very much going to be back and absolutely dominating everyone. And this is just based on her uniform. That's not including how she's going to be at A, level 80, B, tier 4, and C, with her artifact. So, whew. Anyway, moving swiftly on before we all have a meltdown about Jean. Cyclops is back to being a hero, so that's nice. And he gives himself some nice buffs here with crit damage included and chain hit damage. So maybe rather than just being a standalone leadership, he might actually have some utility himself, which would be great, because the amount of times I've used him as a leadership, have my main DPS die, and then he can do absolutely nothing. It's pretty embarrassing. So hopefully this time he can actually be of some use himself. You can see here his leadership skill is improved to 45% to all allies, basic attacks, and increases defense by 30. But then his passive for energy attack has gone from 30% up to a whopping 40%. So you're looking at an 85% buff if you're an energy dealing character, which is huge. So yeah, the fact that he had a tier 3 made a lot of people get him at tier 3 purely for the passive and the leadership, and now that's been improved even greater. So a lot of people are probably already going to have him, which makes this a no-brainer to get this uni, especially considering the fact that he is returning to hero, so he's going to be viable for a lot more content in terms of stages that he can do. And obviously, depending on hero or villain, you can always flip between the two uniforms. Now we're moving on to Beast. Beast, the guy who looks like your MAGA alt-right uncle who lives in the woods and you haven't seen for years, apart from that one time you spent a creepy summer with him. Bless him. Yeah, so poor Beast he's never been a good character. He's only ever been a leadership. I don't think anyone has ever used him for any content outside of Shadowland. But again, they are really piling on the leaderships and the supports in this update, because his is huge with that increase to HP as well as increase to physical attack. His actual skills themselves don't look very impressive, I have to say. But that's par of the course with Beast. We always known this. He's never been about the damage dealing. He's always been about that leadership. And when you get these uniform effect, increases HP by 40%, and then his leadership 50% increase to physical attack. He could be really interesting to see. And last but not least, we have Angel giving us his best blue steel there, Mr. Abs. It's not looking good, I've got to be honest. I'd like to be surprised, and maybe he will have some utility outside of Alliance Conquest, but giving everyone a dodge increase is nice. Recovery rate, they really missold it with recovery to HP, because it makes people think, oh, he's gonna heal other characters. No, it's just the recovery rate. So yeah, bit of a miss. He looks nice, but I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. Then we move on to Polaris's tier 3 skill, and as you can see, I've been playing it a couple of times here. It's very much a copy paste of her father's, so I don't know how I feel about that. I'll have to wait and see what the damage is like on it before passing judgment. But certainly in terms of aesthetics, it looks okay, but very much copy paste, which is a shame. I was hoping for something a little different, but what can you do? Jean's tier 4, yeah. I'm going to skip over that for a minute because I'm going to do a dedicated video about that later. Basically, depending on how much it costs to upgrade her, it's sickening, and she is going to be an absolute monster. It's really disgusting, and a lot of people I think are going to be upset. But it's going to take a while, I think, for a lot of people to get her to tier 4. She's going to use mutant materials, but how many? will be used along with carbonadium, life seed, etc. Will she be double cost? They haven't specified any of that in this, so we'll have to wait and see. Transcendences, yep, copy and paste. Not going to mention anything more about that because they're very disappointing. And then we move on to the fact that yes, Jean is a world boss legend. We have a mighty authority given away. So she joins all the other characters who give away mighty CTPs with their world boss legend stages. You can see the rewards here aren't amazing because again it's mutant materials, but she does also give away Titan records, life seed, carbonadium, so that bit is important. So as to how the mechanics will look, again we're just going to have to wait and see when we actually get her in the ring, as it were. Her icon looks cool though, so that's really amazing, so can't wait to get hold of that. And then the conquer effects for world bosses are being improved. So we're increasing the effects of damage that can be done to each character or each boss based on your conquer level. So that's very nice. But also they're improving the conquer level from 100 up to 200, which is really nice because it means more rewards. Hopefully that will mean more things like a CTP chest or CTP selectors, maybe premium cards. We'll have to wait and see. Unfortunately they didn't go into too much detail, so we'll have to wait until, you know, some of the real high data mining people get in there and extract that information for us, because certainly that's not my forte. Then we have an event shop, which or event going on, which is going to lead us to get a, I think it's a lunar snow icon, which kind of looks okay, but it's a bit meh. Artifacts. Polaris has a increases damage dealt to characters who are below 50% health. That's kind of nice. Hopefully it'll be good for PvE, which means in the second half of fights she'll be stronger. Jean increases damage against heroes and villains, so she is going to be brutal. Yeah, as we expected. And then Cyclops, Beast, Angel and Bishop are all just self-buffing. They're not ally buffing, which is a bit of a shame, but we'll see how we get on. So then we do move on to the Future Pass, and once again, for I think like the third update with new characters, or certainly two. We know we had Toxin free and Polaris free, and oh no, and Baku wasn't free, but you get him through the legendary battle. But still, it's a bio sub character for the third time that we have gotten for free by being, you know, active players during the update. So that's very nice. So then we have that Polaris icon. Sorry, mommy. Sorry. Yeah, that looks amazing. If you're into that kind of thing, of course. Jean looks amazing. Cyclops looks cool. This Luna one feels a bit. We have better put something out for the Koreans, so we'll just quickly rush out something. Doesn't feel like a lot of effort went into the Luna one, which is a shame. And the Angel one, even though Angel's not my favourite character, that's a very cool looking icon. Then we have just a bunch of quality of life improvements for when you're in the store to be able to purchase things quickly for gold, which is nice. You can look at uniform collections easier, and then there's just a bunch of bug fixes, which also are very helpful. So yeah, there we go. A lot to take in. Basically, we are saying that here's a bunch of leaderships. Now go try your best against Jean, because she's going to be an absolute freaking monster. Tank, Goliath, whatever you want to call her, she is going to be absolutely brutal. How brutal? Well, we've got about 12 hours to wait and see. So join me again tomorrow. Let me know what you're looking forward to in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye for now.